We just got out of The Death of Stalin, starring Steve Buscemi as Nikita Khrushchev, and well, I forget his name is Lavrenti Beria, but Jason Isaacs as Marshal Zhukov, and Jeffrey Tambor and Michael Palin. What did you think?
Well, the quality of the presentation is marvelous, but the names of people involved and how they may have interreacted to each other, it was fabulous. And even if somebody says there isn't that much truth in some things, I think they found the magic button. Everybody in a hierarchy has a great degree of blame or praise, but just shows that everybody is responsible for something. And the way they just boldly put it out there.
Look at the camera.
It's incredible. It's hard to believe I witnessed it. If I had to explain it in detail to somebody, I'd be a little lost. But I was familiar with
Speak
most.
up a little bit. Raise your voice a little.
I was familiar with most of the personalities and the situations. I spent quite a few years in the military, and then spent quite a few in the military, and these names were true to life, so to say. And it's a fabulous experience, and I'm so happy my son took me to see this even after a long time waiting to see it. I say everybody should get a good look at it. This is a time, though, that I have a horrible, not a sore throat, but no voice. But pictures worth, just marvelous, incredible, and I'll have to see it again and listen to it again in order to pick up something I may have missed.
What did you like about it so much?
Well, the way you might say everybody's behavior was acknowledged, and the situation changes and the individual changes. It just shows the nature of leadership. Sometimes to stay somewhere, you better be prepared to play checkers with your role in life. And it was a remarkable presentation. What seemed originally to be a little long didn't seem long at all. It just went by like a flash.
Hold it straight up. There you go.
And I'm so grateful I've seen it, and I'd like to read something on the details of the presentation and all. I'm anxious to get my teeth in this a little more. But to think of the things in the life that people had to contend with, incredible. And I feel, I'm just so happy to have witnessed this program. Now I want to get more involved in who was responsible for putting this thing, out front while we still have a world full of fabulous conditions, even today. Well,
what did you think of the satirical elements, you know, the comedy, where everyone's plotting against each other, but they're all trying to pretend they're the most patriotic and they're the most loyal, even though they're all ready to kill each other?
Yeah, well, that's the nature of life, even at the low level, especially at the higher level. And survival of the fittest, but they don't tell you what that fittest is. It was incredibly lucid and clear how human nature's got to survive to get by what they have to do. And I really Well, I waited a long time to see this, and now that I have, I got something to ponder over a while and maybe spread a little interest. It's a sort of a shock to think how long something goes on, but even though there's only a handful of people in there when I saw it.
Here, wipe your upper lip, your nose.
I still feel that for just one person to digest this, get it, witness it,
don't tilt that towards
it's incredible. Sorry about the cold bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful day outside, and even after seeing such a tragic event, it's a beautiful day.
Did any of the performances stand out to you? Like Malenkov, who took over the Soviet Union, or with the crazy hair, or Khrushchev, who's played like basically a New York accent. He lives in New York. It's Steve Buscemi.
Well, I think the way it was presented, that it seemed natural, normal, and realistic enough for sure. And all I can say is I can't wait till I can see it again, and maybe talk to a few people who had more insights than I have. But that's the way the world turns.
Any funny moments, or did you find it funny?
Well, there's
even though it was like a terror. You know, they showed the terror and the persecutions of people. They still showed the humor of these people. You know, that trying to pretend they're the most loyal and most dedicated, even though they were all willing to kill anybody.
Yeah,
for themselves.
Sure. That's the way the ball bounced in this thing. Everybody was ready to take on somebody else once they were in a bad spot. And I guess it's a sort of a comedy, but a divine comedy in a negative way.
Did you see any humor in it?
Pardon?
Did you see any humor in it, or did you laugh at it?
Oh yeah. Well, if you couldn't see it could only be put across in a humorous way because of the situation. To take it, a few scenes were quite vivid and would mean something. I mean, tough, and I think it should be taken hard. It certainly was realistic. A lot of humor. It's the only way you could take this is with a.
Yeah, I think it would be overwhelming if it was all just despair and misery.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Zukov was a great character. That was a British actor, Jason Isaacs, who played him. He was having a ton of fun because he knew he was untouchable. Even Stalin couldn't really hurt him because he had so much loyalty from the army.
Yeah, those names are magic in themselves too. They strike like lightning strikes. Things just happen. Oh boy. Well,
right there, let's get a shot of you in front of the poster right here for the thumbnail. Come walk over here in front of the poster. See the cast right there?
Oh my
walk
God.
in front of it. Look at me. Look at me.
Turn my body.
There you go. That's good enough. Okay. So there you go. That's our. Come back over here. All right, we got the shot. And it was a nice theater here, Cinema Arts in Fairfax.
Yeah.
I love it. So like a little small family run almost. I don't know if it is family run, but they have all this specialty programming and small foreign films and documentaries.
Well, this place should be on a special trip map that people have.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Flying over trout map.
It's magnificent place.
Okay.
You could close down a lot of classrooms if you can activate this place. That's for sure.
So Death of Stalin, you would recommend it?
And may God help us recover.
All right. But you would recommend The Death of Stalin then? For people watching this video, you would recommend The Death of Stalin. You would recommend it to them.
Oh, sure, I recommend it. Everything they're showing, you got to have a life interest to know the truth as some people know it, and as we may not enjoy it sometime. But what a marvelous, bright spotlight on the characters of the time. Okay. And just people walking around here, I know they lived that life too. And I bless my prodding me to go. Anyway, God bless America and the rest of the world.
And since we're outside and it's so nice out at Fair City Mall, just wanted to get some of your thoughts on this place. I'm not sure you've been here before, or if you have, it's been a long time, because I'm not sure we ever went here together.
So many of them almost look alike, but this looks like it's about as nice as you could expect it to be.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest pluses for me is just that parking is not a pain, even though it's a huge place. You can see so many cars here, but there's lots of space. Other parking centers go nearby, parking lots and shopping centers nearby, they're horrible. In Annandale, like 2 cars can barely fit in a lane. Here there's lots of space, it's luxurious. There's a whole other side on the other side of these buildings to the shopping center too, or it's actually on that side, but anyways, so
yeah,
how you like it out here?
Parking is something else. Yeah, it's nice to see a few spaces here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like living where I am now too.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't have any parking problem at all.
Yeah, and we got a salad and sandwich.
Summer salad.
No, Mediterranean salad.
Mediterranean.
Yeah. All right. So it's a nice place. I like how the petals on the flowers are floating from the trees when the wind blows.
Yeah, I guess they'll be gone soon too.
No, because summer's just starting, so they'll be here for a while.
Well, I watch these programs on TV. Sometimes the white flower, or little ones anyway, they bloom overnight, so to say, and then they go away the next day.
No, that's not every single type of tree and flower in the world.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that. Oh
what?
God, that sun is nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's go home.
Okay.